Hi viewers, this video will feature another beautiful watch from Oris, and this is the very attractive Oris 65 vintage dive watch. A very pretty watch indeed. So let's get this out and go over the specs. Okay, so this is the version with the 42mm case. The lug width is 21mm. Lug to lug is 49mm and the thickness is 13.5mm, and this does have a water resistance of 100 meters. This watch, like many Oris watches, is powered by the Solita 200-1. It has been modified. It's called the Oris Caliber 733 and it has a 38-hour power reserve. So yeah, it's nothing special in movement wise, but totally dependable, very accurate and reliable. So okay, the movement is very ordinary. What makes this watch so special then? Well, I suppose mainly it's the looks. It really is a stunning looking watch. Also, the fit and finish is exceptional, really high quality. The bracelet is stunning. The whole build quality of the watch really is very high and it's just very good quality. It's not always about the movement in a watch. There are so many other features to consider, and yeah, in every other department the Oris really makes up for that ordinary movement. And obviously this is another watch that is reissuing a vintage dive watch from the 60s, and they've done a really good job with this. Like most of these vintage dive watches, it does have a very pronounced domed box sapphire glass. Really well done. As you can see, this one has the black dial. It does have a slightly glossy finish to it and really is very, very smart. They also produced this with a nice sunburst blue dial, but this black dial does look magnificent, and those faux patina markers are a great contrast on that black dial. And you can see they're edged with a nice chrome finish. Really well applied. Excellently done. You've got that lollipop style loom on the second hand. The bezel is fairly flat. It does slope up a little bit towards the glass. It does have an aluminium insert, and the markers are printed in silver. And the bezel action is lovely. It does have 120 clicks. There is a little bit of play, not too much, but a little bit. But the overall action is very good, and it does line up perfectly. And we have a screw down crown as well, nicely signed. Good smooth action, great pop, very slick. Date change, nice and smooth. Nothing wrong with that. Now the polishing on this is really quite flawless actually. You've got the sides which are really highly polished, look at that, beautiful. And then on the top of the lugs you've got the brush finishing. So well done. And the bracelet is pretty much brushed all over. Even the sides are brushed. You can see it has these rivets on the first few links, and then the rest of the links are held together with pins. Probably a bit too small to have screw pins, but they do a good job. The bracelet is really good quality. It does taper right down to 18mm, which is quite unusual. But the overall quality of this bracelet is superb. Got a nice push button deployment clasp. Again, it's brushed. Nice deep etching of the Oris logo. but it just feels really good, high quality. Drapes nicely as well. The case back is all polished with a fairly shallow engraving of the Oris badge there, that vintage style shield, but it's a screw down case back and pretty well done. The first thing I thought when I received this watch was how much it reminded me of the Christopher Ward C65 Trident vintage diver watch. This one here, very similar, got the same faux patina colour on the markers, black dial, similar profiles. It feels a little bit less dressy than the Oris. The bezel is less shiny, the dial is matte finish rather than gloss, and the coin edge of the bezel is quite different as well, but apart from that, very, very similar watches. Now it's interesting holding these together because I've always felt the Christopher Ward watch is superb quality, and it really is, but you can just feel that difference when you hold it next to the Oris. It's not a big obvious difference, but the Oris just feels a little bit more refined. The bracelet is just a bit better quality. The overall fit and finish is just a bit higher spec, and the design, I do prefer the Oris, even though the Christopher Ward is a beautiful watch. The Oris is even more beautiful. It's just stunning, absolutely stunning. So let me show you how that looks on the wrist now. Yeah, that really is one of the most comfortable watches I've ever worn. It really does fit like a dream. The lugs curve down nicely, the bracelet with that taper just hugs the wrist so well, and it is a very slim watch and extremely smart looking. I love that domed sapphire glass, looks great. Yeah, it's just a very stylish watch all round. Got that good combination of sporty but also dressy as well, so it's good for all occasions. Yeah, Oris have really knocked this one out of the park. They've absolutely nailed the design on this watch. Wonderful. Right, I'll just show you the Loom on this watch now. It's not bad, not great though, which is disappointing. I really don't understand why these Swiss watches over $1,000 cannot give you really super bright Loom. I mean, micro brands like Zelos do it, Seiko do it with all their watches. It's not bad, it's okay, but it's just not as bright as you would like. Especially when you consider this is over $1,600. Still, I suppose it's good enough, but is good enough really good enough? I don't know. Okay, let me just zoom in now and we'll show off that gorgeous dial in more detail. Yeah, that is really a stunning looking dial. The printing there is perfect, super crisp. The markers are flawless looking. I love that distortion effect you get on the domed glass. Really catches the light very nicely. Look at that. Awesome. See, the second hand reaches right to the edge of the dial. Lovely polishing on the hands. There we can see the crown. Most of these vintage watches do not have crown guards, and I quite like that. It's so easy to grip, and it just looks quite cool. Okay, well that's pretty much it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed looking at this very beautiful watch from Oris. I think this is one of the most attractive vintage dive watches from the bigger brands. Really does look fantastic. thank you so much for watching. See you next time.